Everybody, welcome to the wrap-up of GARBAUGUST. It's the very last week. No more GARBAUGUST. You know what? I had a great time, and I want to say thank you to Criminali and to the others, all of the others who put this event together. It was really fun. It was really fun watching other people's videos and seeing what they had chosen for GARBAUGUST. And just getting to compare notes on what we consider trash and what we don't. I fell behind just because I had a really rough week the last week of August. Obviously, I've been trying not to get evicted, dealing with healing from getting in a fight, and also cellulitis. I had, thanks to druggie fraud and the cutbacks to Ontario medical care, I got to sort out my own IV once it was in, so I was not too thrilled about that. And what ended up happening was first of all, I have the worst veins in the world, like just horrible. Apparently they look deceptive, but then you try to find one and they're fairly deep and they're twisty. So they have to jab multiple times just to get anything. So I had bruises all up my arm, all over the back of my hand when they first tried this one. Actually, you can still see a little bit. Yeah, there's still a little bit of bruising there. And then they finally put it into this hand, and it stayed, I was impressed, actually. It stayed for 5 days, but then it had a long tube on it so that I could twist on the IV, the antibiotics come in this little jar, and it's got a tube that comes out, and you just twist it on and off. You just twist the tube on and off to connect it. And then it's pressurized, so once it's connected, it just kind of pushes everything through. You don't even need to hang it up like the old days. It's actually kind of impressive that they're able to do this. And I'm sure it's actually very helpful for people who, are caretakers at home or whatnot. But having to deal with my own IV is a little bit freaky. So anyway, so I have the world's worst veins. And on the 5th day, no, the 6th, well, I guess it'd be the 6th day, because it was put in on Friday and it was on Wednesday, so there were only 2 left. The tube was long and it sort of coiled around, and then I had it taped to the back of my hand so it wasn't flopping around and I could do stuff with it. And I mean, my right hand is absolutely the worst place to put something like that. So, and I was pulling at it, and of course I pulled the IV out. Freak out. Go to the, have to go to the clinic, have it, stab a few more times, get a few more bruises, and then they put it in on this part of my arm so that I could do the remaining 2 tubes. So anyway, so that was just like a whole ordeal that I had to deal with, plus having to change my dressing again myself every day, which I don't mind so much as long as I have the supplies. But to have to do this myself, I can't even go to the clinic and get it done because of cutbacks. It's just really appalling to me. So anyway, so that ate up a lot of my time, and just I wasn't focusing very well on what I needed to do for GARBAUGUST, so I fell behind. And I saw it was like the 24th, and I saw somebody's week 4 WTF video, and I thought, wait, is it? Oh my goodness, it already is. Holy crap. So I sort of fell behind, and I didn't finish, the last few books that I wanted to. So I'm going to tell you what I read for week 4. Now, ever since I read Paperbacks from Hell, and I read Grady Hendrix's description of this book, The Little People by John Christopher, I had to read it because Gestapo cons, freaking Nazi leprechauns, what the hell? And I have not yet managed to finish it. I'm about 146 pages into a 124-page book, and we just managed to capture one of the Gestapo cons. So I haven't quite figured out what's going on with this book yet. I will do a full review of it once I am finished. But this is very firmly in the WTF. What the hell was this author thinking when they wrote it? And I was also a little bit disappointed because I didn't get the original cover. The original cover that was in that gets featured in Paperbacks from Hell is glorious. I mean, it is just one of the best covers and one of the most ridiculous covers I think I've ever seen. And I mean, the premise itself is just so insane. So I'm just going to show you the cover here. So that's the original cover of The Little People by John Christopher. So yes, they've just captured the female, or one of the two female Gestapo cons, and we're just now meeting the males, and they are pulling up in a little toy boat. So, all right. So just a quick review of what I did get through throughout Garbaugust. So week 1 was sex and or violence, and I covered The Searing by John Coyne and Bear by Marion Engel. And sort of as an extra credit, I read the Bonk Buster of Jackie Collins' Chances, and also a shifter thing, Pawed by the Panther, Pounced by the Panther, something about a panther. Anyway, it was terrible. Week 2 was vintage, and I read Let's Go Play at the Adams and V.C. Andrews' Flowers in the Attic. I know, I'm like searching my memory here. Yeah, I'm getting old. My memory is getting really bad. Week 3 was Anything Goes, and I read Gila by Catherine Patasek and the novelization Wheels by Susan Nielsen. And then week 4, WTF, of course, The Little People. Gotta hold that up again because this is another one that I really like having a physical copy. So now for the Garbaugust bingo card. So there were a number of books, or not books, but there were a number of things that you could check off as you read for Garbaugust. And I did not finish quite a few books that I started, or at least, it's not so much that I started them, but some books I didn't get around to, some books I started but just didn't finish for various reasons. So the Garbingo card, number 1, a book written under a pseudonym. So I read Gila, and that was written under the pseudonym Les Simons. Number 2, a dirty book. So you could put Bear or Chances or even that ridiculous Panther book under that. Any of those were pretty dirty. But I think probably the one that has the most salacious reputation, I think, would probably be Bear. Because, Chances is what they consider a bonk buster. And that Pawed by the Panther thing is just, lots and lots of badly written sex surrounded by this silly shifter thing. I don't even know. The third one was a book written by a celebrity. Now, I started the Saint-Tropez Lonely Hearts Club by Joan Collins, but I just didn't get very far in it. And likewise, I also picked up Actors Anonymous by James Franco. It really wasn't very good. So I stopped reading partway through, just DNF that one. Another one was, the next entry was a book with nudity on the cover. Bear falls into that, and I did show you the, again, amazing original cover on that, which is a naked woman with a bear behind her. Just insane. The next entry is a book series with more than 100 entries on it, and Number 6 was A Men's Adventure. Now, the book that I chose for both of these was called The Executioner Caribbean Kill, something like that. And it was number 10 in the series. Now, The Executioner is started by Don Pendleton, and I think he wrote the first 30 some odd books in the series. And number 10 would be one of the ones that was actually written by him. And so that falls under the category of both more than 100 entries and Men's Adventure. But another one I DNF because okay, so the plot goes, this guy, the basic plot is that this guy's name is Mac Bolan, which by the way is an awesome name. And he runs around and he's always got this, he calls it his black suit. It's apparently some kind of spy cat suit, wetsuit thing that doesn't show up in the dark. I don't know. Anyway, it's like a men's version of the spy cat suit, if you can picture that. I don't know if it's supposed to be like spandex or rubber or what, but he slinks around in this. And he wears it under his clothes. So anyway, so he's so our first scene, he's taking he has just ripped off $250,000 from the mafia in Vegas, and he somehow gets the I guess he's some kind of like mafia contact, the guy that takes care of the money, and the pilot into his into his like little snare, and he gets them to go along with his plot. But then, as they get into the Caribbean, he realizes that, everybody that's at the beach there is also from the mafia, so he's got to get away from them. So he drops out of the plane, and the plane blows up, and he starts shooting everybody, and everybody dies. And I mean, what I was reminded of the whole time, if you go onto YouTube and you type in Michael Mann Does Breakfast, or Michael Mann Gets the Mail, it's like the most mundane, ordinary things anybody does. There have to be like explosions and slow motion and double guns blazing, and that's what this book reminded me of. Excuse me. Everything Mac Bolan does, he's got 2 guns drawn, and everything blows up behind him. So, I mean, and it just goes from there. And this guy has not slept in like 5 days or something at this point, or no, 3 weeks. I don't know. The number keeps changing. Oh, and there's some woman who's a cop from somewhere, and you just know she's gonna die. Like it's just spelled out. She's not gonna survive because she's a cop and she's a woman, and they have sex within like the first 10 pages or something. I don't know. Anyway, so this book is just terrible. It's just like explosion after explosion, and like running from one place to another because he's Mac Bolan and everybody's out to kill him, and even the CIA and the FBI and all the alphabet soup people, and everybody wants him dead, and his whole mission is just to kill the mafia. And it doesn't matter if they're like, the kid that runs the numbers, or the guy, the capo at the top that orders all the deaths. They're all mafia. They all gotta die. So anyway, I don't think I'm gonna finish that one. It's pretty bad. So now the next number 7 is a novelization, and that was Wheels by Susan Nielsen, which is a novelization of the Wheels story from Degrassi. Number 8, a book that you'd be ashamed to read in public. Now, as a horror reader, I'm not really ashamed to read most books because of the books that I read. But yeah, that Panther thing, I'd be ashamed. And yeah, I probably would hide Wheels behind another a piece of paper or something. Killer Animals, Gila, is another one that hits that bingo card. A book that capitalizes on moral panic. That one I didn't find. I did consider going to the Beatrice Sparks books, or possibly Hobgoblin or something like that, but I just ran out of time. All right, so I was at moral panic. I didn't find anything with a moral panic. I looked at possibly Hobgoblin, or possibly The Devil's Kiss by William Johnstone, but again, I just kind of ran out of time. The next one, Harlequin Hills, or Mills and Boone, I guess is what it's called in the UK. Harlequin. Wait a sec. Did I say that wrong? Bleh. Try that again. Harlequin Romance or Mills and Boon. In case you're wondering why I'm kind of stumbling over these, I had to write them down, and you can see I can't read my own handwriting sometimes. So the next one is a shifter romance. Again, that Panther thing. One with a cigarette ad. You know, I went through a bunch of my paperbacks, and I did not find a book with a cigarette ad in it. So missed that one. And then the last one is V.C. Andrews, and of course I read Flowers in the Attic. So our good old friend there. Although one of these days I might actually revisit My Sweet Audrina because it is so bonkers. So that's it. It is officially, August is over, and Garbaugust is, we got through it, and I really had a good time. Thanks again for all of the hosts. And upcoming in September, I'm really excited about this because after I read Paperbacks from Hell and after Garbaugust, I mean, where do you go from there? So I decided that September is going to be Satanic September. So I have a few things that I want to look at. I've got The Omen, Paradise Lost, which I may or may not get through. I want to read The Devil's Advocate by Andrew Niederman. I have both My Best Friend's Exorcism and We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. Haven't decided which one I'm going to read, but I'm leaning toward We Sold Our Souls just because I'd like to do another Metal Monday. And upcoming through September it's apparently Shorty September, so they want to focus on short stories, which fits in perfectly because there are lots of short stories about deals with the devil. And then the other thing is that it's Dick-tember, which apparently is focusing on private dick, private eye investigator, mystery, that kind of stories. And so for Dick-tember, I will be reading one or more of the Satan's Sleuth trilogy. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you're reading lots of horror. Hope you're reading lots of great books. Thank you again for participating in Garbaugust. I've had a very trashy August, and Satanic September's coming. Have a great day.